Robert Miller has another exclusive report on the elephant trainer who won't surrender the two pachyderms named Dutchess and Tori.
Arlen Seiden is a man on the lam with two elephants. To prove it, he sent this homemade videotape to us exclusively. It's rough around the edges, but it does show that Seiden seems to have a smooth touch with elephants.
All right, Dutchess, come ahead. Come here. Bring it here. Come ahead. Move it up. Push it down. Knee. Shake your head. Shake.
Seiden won't tell us where he and the elephants are hiding, but he did send letters to our news department telling his side of the story. He says, quote, "I'm tired of hiding with two elephants, and I realize I've been damn lucky, and that will not continue forever."
Steady, Tori. Bring it here, Dutchess.
This tale of two elephants began after Seiden was forced to sell Dutchess and Tori. He says he discovered the pair of pachyderms was being badly abused by new owners in California. Seiden's lawyer says this veterinarian's report shows evidence of physical abuse. So Seiden took back the elephants. But then he lost his court battle to keep them, so he decided to snatch the animals and take them into hiding.
How do you respond to those people who say that your dad's actions are, well, bizarre, to say the least?
I'd have to agree. I think they were pretty bizarre, but he did them because he really believed in what he was doing.
Seiden's daughter is appealing for someone to help her father, perhaps a third party to take custody of Dutchess and Tori.
He's not a criminal. He didn't hurt anyone. He didn't, in my mind, he didn't steal something that didn't belong to him.
Now, the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office says it won't make any deals with Seiden because it doesn't deal with fugitives. However, the office does say that the necessity defense may be open to Seiden. And that's a situation, for instance, where someone has glaucoma and uses marijuana illegally because it helps the glaucoma. That would be necessity. And Seiden might claim that in order to keep the animals from being harmed, he stole them out of necessity. Jennifer?
Okay, Bob, thank you.
The elephants are at an undisclosed location, perhaps in Canada, spirited away, if that's possible with a pair of pachyderms, by their former owner, a man named Arlen Seiden. It's his voice you hear on this homemade videotape.
Move it up. Tori, move up.
Seiden made off with the elephants about 4 years ago after the New Jersey courts ruled that he must give them back to the Drakes. Seiden says that the animals were being mistreated. Richard Drake denies that and voices his own concerns.
I'm afraid something's going to happen to them. So how do I know if they've been up in Canada? It's cold weather up there. You got to have heat like I have in my barn. You've got to have facilities. I don't know if this man's crazy enough to take these. How do I know they're even alive yet today?
Push. Push! Push! Push!
The animals appeared to be in good shape when Seiden made this videotape. Dutchess and Tori will be taken out of hiding, says Seiden, and he will surrender to authorities if the animals are guaranteed good care, perhaps by a zoo or animal rights group, but not if they are to be returned to Drake. Drake won't accept that.
I want to see that they have both their eyes, their ears. I want to see the shape that they are in. I don't want to never see the animals again. I want to take possession of the animals. And if possibly it means selling them right off the bat to get them back and making a promise to him that way, I will do that, but I will pick where they go.
Now, Drake has told me that he has a tip on where the elephants might be, and he intends to check out that location this weekend. Jennifer?
Okay, Bob, thank you. You wouldn't think they'd be too difficult to find. Anyway, in news from overseas...
I should think that the neighbors would complain about trumpeting, water use, the ground shaking, peanut shells. CNN's Dave Monsees reports on a man who's pulling some kind of circus act and hiding two elephants.
This home video shows Tori and Dutchess somewhere out there, somewhere in the country, hidden here. 6 tons or so of stolen property. For 4 years, the two Indian elephants and a man named Arlen Seiden have been fugitives who to get Tori and Dutchess back to the man who legally owns them.
Lay down, Dutchess. Tori, come on down. Lay down all the way. That's a good girl. Tori, lay down. Lay down, Tori.
Richard Drake is another animal trainer who bought the elephants from Seiden in 1981. But Seiden repossessed them for non-payment and says he found signs of abuse. A New Jersey court, though, gave the nod to Drake, and that's when Seiden admittedly swiped the elephants back. Ever since, the three have been on the road or holed up. On the lam, Seiden will call reporters but won't say where he is.
I brought those animals up from infants. I imported them originally and trained them and worked them for, I guess, 17 or 18 years.
Seiden says he has managed to stay one step ahead of the law, even with Dutchess and Tori in tow.
And if,
the legal owner says he never abused the animals. Richard Drake wants them and Arlen Seiden found.
He's been getting a lot of response from his humane charge against me. In other words, I'm becoming a folk hero like Jesse James or whatever. And I want the people out there to truthfully look at the story the way it really is. Look at the court orders, look at the background of the whole thing, and then help me find these animals.
How do you hide two elephants for 4 years? Apparently very carefully, because Dutchess and Tori and Arlen Seiden are still fugitives. The man on the lam says he wants a new trial to get legal possession again. Meantime, somewhere out there, somewhere in the country, all three flee the long arm of the law together. Dave Monsey, CNN, New York.
We have more wilting weather to talk about.
And here's Karen.
This next story is about love and money, betrayal, abduction, and a cross-country chase. Now, it sounds like the plot of any daytime soap opera, but it's more like a three-ring circus. Our detective Scott Rappaport solves the puzzle of the purloined pachyderm.
For 7 years, Richard Drake has scoured this country one step at a time in an agonizing search for the two beloved females he'd loved and lost.
I've traveled hundreds of thousands of miles, flying and driving. I've spent thousands of dollars on attorney fees.
This is Arlen Seiden, the man who admittedly abducted Drake's two darling damsels. The man who ironically raised the girls since they were babies and says housed them in the finest accommodations money could buy.
I brought them up, I trained them. I've worked them for almost 20 years at that point. And I owe them a debt.
For 7 long years, Richard Drake has pursued Arlen Seiden all over the United States in a furious fight to reclaim Tori and Dutchess, a pair of exotic, slightly overweight Asian girls in their 20s, whose coquettish charms have won both men's hearts.
Tori is a little old lady that worries about her belly, and Dutchess is the prim miss that tries to be dainty, but doesn't quite accomplish it.
And perhaps most of all, according to both men, Tori and Dutchess have a great set of trunks. Yes, Tori and Dutchess are indeed elephants, and this mammoth-sized controversy is in fact based on the custody rights to these mammoth-sized mammals. It all started back in 1981. Richard Drake and Arlen Seiden, a pair of elephant trainers, made a deal. Seiden sold his prize elephants, Tori and Dutchess, to Richard Drake for a sum that wasn't exactly peanuts.
The original agreement when we purchased these elephants from Seiden was for $80,000, $40,000 apiece.
But Seiden says Drake fell 5 months behind in his pachyderm payments, so Seiden rounded up the elephants and hit the road. For the next 7 years, it's believed Seiden crisscrossed the country covertly, somehow keeping Tori and Dutchess, both nearly 7 feet tall and 6,000 pounds apiece, away from the long arm of the law. How he managed that, only he knows.
I can't tell you where I've been, what I have been doing, how I have done anything.
Now, the uproar over the elephant escapade appeared to be settled back in 1984. Richard Drake found Seiden and the elephants hiding out in New Jersey. After a 6-day jury trial, Drake thought the matter of the mammals was finally over.
The end of the jury trial was in the favor of the Drakes, of my son and myself. the return of the animals. The final judgment came to $107,000, $106,000 and change.
But when Drake went to pick up the elephants the next day, he learned Sidon and the package.
There was no way for me to hold them anymore. And I was not going to allow these animals to go back into their hands.
So the chase began again. It took 5 more years, but just a month ago here in Jefferson, Texas, Sidon was busted and FBI agents seized the missing mammals. Local lawmen saying it's the darndest thing they'd ever seen.
Not too many police officers in the state of Texas arrest a man for stealing 2 elephants.
After 7 long years, the case of the missing elephants has been solved. Yet for the men who love them, the heartbreak continues.
It's taken all this time to win the battle, and yet we still haven't won anything. We still don't have the animals in our possession.
Been portrayed as some sort of a crazy old man running around the country with 2 stolen elephants.
And as for Tori and Dutchess, these desirable dames are now living a life of leisure in FBI custody, tucked away, ironically, from the 2 men who traveled the country for 7 long years to claim them for themselves.
Well, we thought it was the end of this tale, but it isn't. Tori and Dutchess are back with Richard Drake and living in California. Arlen Sidon this week faces arraignment in New Jersey on charges of 3rd-degree theft. We'll be back in a minute with the football predictions of an 89-year-old nun.
Tori, come ahead. Come ahead, Tori. Move it up. Come ahead. Move it up. Steady, Dutchess, back. Dutchess, back. Tori, move up. All right, Dutchess, come ahead. Come here. Bring it here. Come ahead. Move it up. Steady. Move up. Tori, move up. Move it up. Move up. Go down and get a drink. Move up, Dutchess. Tori, move up. Dutchess, move up. Move it up. Tori, move up. Move up. Move it up. Back. Steady, Tori.
it. Tori, pick it up. Bring it here. Dutchess, push. Tori, push. 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 Get up on it. Push it over. Push. Push it down. All right, knee. Shake your head. Shake. Knee.
Yeah, she's moving. Dutchess is moving.
That's all right. Follow Dutchess.
Okay. This is fun.
See why I don't want to give it up so soon? I want to take them way out and back later.
Yeah. I'm following Dutchess. Wow.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good. See, Dutchess will give you the most animation. That's why I want you to follow her.
Does this thing have audio?
No, we're not on. I don't think we're on. Tori gets in the way, doesn't make any difference. That's
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
I want it looking like a couple of wild elephants out there by themselves.
What are you doing this for?
Remembrance, and I figured as long as I'm going to do it, I'm going to do a little movie. Okay, shut it off now. Screen in the bottom of the screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right, lay down. Come on down. Dutchess, come on down. Tori, come on down, Tori. Tori, come on down. Come on down, Tori. Lay down, all the way. Dutchess, lay down. Lay down, Dutchess. Tori, come on down. Lay down, all the way. That's a good girl. Tori, lay down. Lay down, Tori. Tori, lay down. Lay down, Tori. Tori, come on down. Never mind, my friend. It's a good thing we don't have audio. Just hold it on him there for a few seconds.
Uh-huh.
Shut it off. Steady, Tori. Bring it here, Dutchess. Dutchess, move it up. Bring it here, Dutchess. Dutchess, bring it here. Bring it here, Dutchess. Dutchess, bring it here. Go to Tori. Tori, pick it up and bring it here. All right, Dutchess, come here, Dutchess. Tori, bring it here, Tori. Come here. Come here, Dutchess. Stay on Tori. Tori, bring it here. Now stay on her.
Yeah.
All right, Tori, put it down. Put it down. All right. All right. Steady. Steady. Knee. Put it down. Knee. Knee. Shake your head. Tori, knee. Bitch. Shake your head. Shake
She's
it.
sort of, you know, she's
Shake
sort of
it.
behind a tree.
Can you see her head?
I can see her head, yeah.
All right, she should be partially behind a tree. That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
I stop.
Yeah. Get in the house, Dutchess. Tori, get in the house. Steady, Tori. Steady.
On Good Morning America.
It is now 11 minutes before the hour. If the story we're about to talk about was a case for Perry Mason, I suppose you could call it the case of the purloined pachyderms. Because what we're talking about here is stolen elephants. Elephants on the lam, in effect, and hidden in plain sight. The man who hid them was an animal trainer who believed the elephants named Tori and Dutchess were being abused. The book about his 5.5-year journey with his missing elephants is called At Large, The Fugitive Odyssey of Murray Hill and His Elephants. And joining us this morning is Murray Hill. Without his elephants, our studio is only so big, and we had to limit this. But let me run through the case or the story pretty quickly. You had these elephants, and all our pictures are going to show 3 elephants. You had 3 elephants that were a circus act,
Originally,
right?
yes. I was importing elephants, and I also was an elephant trainer, and I brought these babies up from infants. The total
And they
combined
became
weight
how
of 3
big?
elephants.
When
Well,
they
the
first
male,
appeared in the
Onyx,
circus, was
is in the zoo right now producing babies. He's 6.5 tons and over 10 feet tall.
Oh, all right. Now, you had to break up the act. You sold 2 of the elephants.
Yes, I sold the 2 girls to people in California.
And the guy who bought them defaulted on this sale,
He
right?
defaulted financially. He was 5 months behind in payments over a 10-month period.
And you thought he was abusing the elephants?
At that point, no. When I repossessed the animals, then I found out that they were being abused, and when they came back and offered to pay off the note, I refused it and told them I'd never allow them to have them elephants again.
And the court said, even though you're worried about their being abused, that you have to return them to the buyer.
Right.
And then you went on the lamb or on the elephant or whatever with.
Well, the way the law put it was I absconded with the elephants.
Absconded, okay.
I like that word.
You're an absconder, is what
there
you were.
There you go.
All right. Now, the critical question in everybody's mind: you got to hide 2 elephants. These are not easily hidden animals.
Oh, sure they are.
How?
They're so obvious that nobody takes notice of them.
So you walk down the streets of some city with 2 elephants and everybody says, sure, why not?
Well, not quite. You don't walk down the street with them, but when they see them out in the field or something, they say, well, some crazy idiot's got a couple of elephants. Look at that. And that's about the way it goes.
Well, I hesitate to think what all the jokes must be. I mean, you hid them in the trunk,
you have
right?
no idea. You have no idea. And as tenseful as the situation was, there were some very funny moments. We were in an area where it was heavily wooded, and there were hikers all over the place, and they'd get too close. So I'd hand signal the girls, and they'd lay down. They looked like the rocks, and people walked within 20 foot of them. They never knew they were elephants.
When you say the girls, you mean Tori and Dutchess?
Tori and Dutchess, yes, I'm sorry.
And they'd hit the ground and...
they laid down just like elephants lay down. They looked just like the rocks out there.
Thank goodness there were no spelunkers who tried to climb them.
I'm with you.
You'd have been in trouble. Was anybody actively looking for them? I mean, were the...
Yes. At the first, I'm sure the police were actively looking for them, and at that point, we did stay hidden. We lived in the woods. And Drake's, the people that I had sold them to in California, Dick was looking for them very, very actively over the 5.5-year period.
Well, now, in the book you write about you had a change of heart in all of this in terms of bringing them back, right?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, that you decided to bring them out of hiding.
No. There were times I was ready to throw the towel in because things had become so stressful. But no, I never decided. I was on my way to Mexico, and I got turned in. Somebody turned me in.
Oh, you
That's
did?
how the law caught me. Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
What happened? How did that occur?
Somebody evidently found out who I was and where I was, and called the Drakes, and they came down and put the law on me.
Oops. So,
yep.
Oops. The absconding came to an end.
It came to an end,
suddenly.
yes.
And what happened with the elephants? Did they go back?
Eventually, they went back to the Drakes in California, and as soon as they got them back, they put them up for sale, and they're currently owned by a circus.
So Tori and Dutchess are all right, and you're confident?
Well, no. Dutchess, they're split up now. They had been together for more than 20 years, and they're split up now, and Dutchess is working with a 3-act. 2 other elephants, and Tori, as far as I know, is still at the winter quarters of the circus that owns them.
But you're not worried about abuse in these cases now anymore?
Abuse, no, but I sure wouldn't like to see Tori. She's been damaged very badly, and I wouldn't like to see her go back on the road for many, many reasons. And truthfully, I'd love to see all 3 of them united. That's a hope, and while there's life, there's hope, but it's not a realistic thing.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of all this in hiding a couple of elephants?
In the hiding, or what, the hardest part?
Well, overall, the hardest part.
Overall was the day that they got loaded and went back.
And losing them.
Yes,
right.
yes.
The hardest part in hiding them?
The hardest part in hiding them was me. Truthfully, the elephants were no problem. Because if you told any, even today, nobody believes I did what I did. And at that time, on several occasions, somebody come out and say, what are they doing here? I said, well, they're stolen elephants. We're hiding them, and everybody would laugh. And nobody put the story together.
and figured out what was going on.
Well, in the book, it describes when we went through the state of Indiana, a state trooper, we were making a change of locations, and the state trooper stopped us for a tail light, and he wanted to know if I heard about this Murray Hill that stole elephants a couple of years ago, and I said, oh yeah, I heard all about him. He said, do you know him? I said, sure.
But he never put it all together?
No, that was it. Nobody would put anything like that together.
All right, Murray Hill, thank you. Good to have you with us.
I thank you, sir.
Interesting story. 5 before the hour, and we'll continue in just a moment.
There's a certain kind of itch caused by irritation or inflammation that's so private, most people will only discuss it with their doctor. To relieve that discomfort,